If you've been pumping your money into stocks that move like a snail or watching your portfolio bleed while inflation keeps rising, stop right now and pay attention. There are three rare U.S. coins outperforming traditional investments year after year, and most everyday investors have absolutely no idea this opportunity even exists. These coins aren't just collectibles. They are historically proven assets backed by scarcity, consistent demand, and decades of price appreciation. By the time you finish this video, you'll understand why some of the most disciplined investors, including quiet millionaires, have been shifting part of their portfolio into numismatic holdings. And more importantly, you'll know exactly which coins have the potential to outperform the market, protect your wealth, and give you growth that slow-moving stocks simply aren't delivering anymore. The first powerhouse coin investors should consider is the 1909 SVDB Lincoln cent, one of the most iconic and most chased pieces in American numismatics. Even though it's just a 1-cent coin, the financial power behind it has been astonishing. With a tiny mintage of only 484,000 pieces, it stands as one of the lowest production coins in the entire Lincoln series. That scarcity creates supply pressure that never goes away because tens of thousands of new collectors enter the hobby every year, and every single serious collector wants this coin. That persistent demand has allowed its value to keep rising even during recessions and stock market downturns. A mid-grade example that once hovered near $600 now regularly sells above $1,400. And high-end certified pieces easily climb past $5,000 to $7,000. It's a coin that behaves like a blue-chip stock, but appreciates like a limited edition asset with high collectible value. Our second coin is the heavy silver anchor that belongs in any long-term investment-focused collection, the 1889 cc Morgan dollar. This coin is widely recognized as one of the most important and most valuable Morgan dollars ever struck. The Carson City Mint produced only around 350,000 of these, and thousands were later melted under government silver recalls. The small population of surviving examples has turned this coin into a powerful long-term asset, with a historical track record that rivals real estate. Carson City coins already have legendary demand among collectors, and the 1889 cc sits at the very top of that hierarchy. In the early 2000s, a mid-grade VF piece could be purchased for under $900. Today, that same coin can fetch $3,000 to $5,000, while mint state examples soar far past $50,000. This coin has the perfect storm of investment characteristics: rarity, demand, beauty, historical connection, and a long-term appreciation curve that continues trending upward. The third coin every investor should know is the 1916 Standing Liberty Quarter, one of the most visually stunning and one of the most explosive investment coins of the past decade. With only 52,000 minted, this coin is rarer than most U.S. gold coins, and because it features a one-year design, its uniqueness only amplifies demand. Collectors love coins that combine rarity with artistry, and the Standing Liberty design is widely considered one of the most beautiful in American coin history. High-grade examples are extremely hard to find, and collectors compete fiercely for them, driving prices higher year after year. A coin that could be purchased for around $1,200 20 years ago now regularly sells between $6,000 and $15,000, depending on grade. Top-tier specimens have even crossed the six-figure barrier at major auctions. This is a coin that simply refuses to drop in value because the available supply is so tiny and demand keeps rising. These three coins stand out because they combine scarcity, historical relevance, and decades of strong financial performance, qualities most investors never consider when looking for long-term assets. The 1909 SVDB offers stability and massive collector demand. The 1889 cc Morgan provides a powerhouse growth trajectory, and the 1916 Standing Liberty Quarter delivers rarity so strong that price dips are nearly non-existent. Together, these coins represent the kind of diversified numismatic strategy that can outperform inflation and long-term stock stagnation. Before you start investing, always buy certified coins from PCGS or NGC to protect yourself and to ensure liquidity when you're ready to sell. Check recent auctions, understand the grading scale, and whenever possible, choose the highest grade your budget allows because higher quality coins appreciate faster and hold value better. If this helped you see rare coins as legitimate investment assets, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me which of these 3 powerhouse coins you're planning to chase next. This channel brings you weekly insights into valuable coins, market trends, and numismatic investment strategies, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Have you ever looked at your spare change and wondered if it could be worth more than a few cents? If you have a 1970 penny tucked away in your pocket or coin jar, you might be holding a coin worth up to $35,000. One rare variety from 1970 has collectors willing to pay top dollar, and today we're breaking down why this penny is so valuable, how it became so rare, and what makes it a prized coin for collectors and investors. The secret lies in the 1970 double-die Lincoln cent. Unlike ordinary pennies, this coin shows doubling on the date and letters, a result of a minting error at the Philadelphia Mint. Only a small fraction of pennies from 1970 have this error, and even fewer survive in collectible condition. That extreme rarity is why collectors consider it a key date coin, essential for any serious Lincoln cent collection. Even small circulation wear can affect value, making well-preserved examples highly sought after. The history behind this penny adds to its value. In 1970, the U.S. Mint was using high-speed presses, and the double-die error occurred when the coin was struck twice with misaligned dies. This small mistake created a coin that has become legendary among collectors, not only for its rarity, but for its place in modern coinage history. Owning one is like holding a tangible piece of U.S. minting history, a coin that tells a story over 50 years old. The investment potential of this penny is extraordinary. Verified 1970 double-die pennies have sold in auctions for $25,000 to $35,000 depending on condition. Compared to a penny's face value of 1 cent, this represents a return of hundreds of thousands of percent. High-grade uncirculated coins are especially valuable because they are extremely scarce. For collectors and investors looking for alternative investments beyond stocks or traditional assets, coins like this are a rare opportunity that can appreciate significantly over time. Spotting a 1970 double-die penny requires attention to detail. Check the date and lettering for doubling, which makes the numbers and letters appear as if stamped twice. The Lincoln bust may also show subtle doubling. Condition is crucial, with uncirculated or near-mint coins commanding the highest prices. Professional authentication ensures that the coin is genuine, which protects both buyers and sellers and ensures maximum market value. Real-world auction results highlight the value of this coin. A 1970 double-die penny in MS65 condition recently sold for $32,000, while another slightly circulated example sold for $25,000. Even lower-grade coins still command thousands of dollars. These examples show how serious the market is, with collectors and investors eager to pay premium prices for verified specimens. For anyone who might have a 1970 penny lying around, now is the perfect time to check. This coin's value comes from the double-die error, its extreme rarity, and its condition. Owning one could be life-changing for collectors or anyone interested in rare coins as an investment. The 1970 double-die penny is more than just a coin. It's a piece of history, a rare collectible, and a potential investment. If you have one, verify it and consider adding it to a collection or selling it at auction to capture its full value. Don't overlook the change in your pocket. It could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Hit like if you found this surprising. Subscribe for more rare coin insights, and comment below if you've ever discovered a coin worth more than its face value. Your spare change could be your next big payday. The 1796 draped bust quarter is one of the most legendary coins in American history, and for a good reason. It represents the very first time the United States Mint produced a quarter, a denomination that would later become one of the most commonly used coins in America. Back in 1796, the U.S. Mint was still young and developing its identity. Designs were created by hand, coins were struck individually, and production numbers were extremely limited. The quarter was not a part of early circulation until this landmark year. The obverse features the famous draped bust portrait of Liberty, a design created by renowned artist Gilbert Stuart. This portrait quickly became one of the most iconic images in early American coinage, symbolizing elegance, strength, and national pride. The reverse of the coin displays a delicate small eagle surrounded by a wreath. This design appears only on America's earliest silver coins and reflects the artistic craftsmanship of the era, making surviving examples even more desirable to collectors. Only 6,146 pieces were minted, an incredibly small number compared to modern coin production. With such a tiny mintage and heavy circulation, very few high-quality examples survived, elevating the coin's rarity and status. Collectors consider the 1796 quarter a holy grail piece because it's a one-year type. You cannot complete an early U.S. quarter collection without it. Its combination of rarity, historical importance, and unique design makes it one of the most coveted early American coins. Most surviving pieces show heavy wear, small scratches, or damage from decades of circulation. High-grade examples, those with sharp details, are almost unheard of. Because of this, even damaged or low-grade coins are still extremely valuable. In modern auctions, the 1796 draped bust quarter regularly sells for $30,000 to $300,000 depending on condition. Remarkably, some of the finest known pieces have sold for over $1 million, placing this coin among America's greatest numismatic treasures. This coin isn't just a collectible, it's a symbol of America's early struggle to build a stable economy, a national identity, and a functional minting system. Every surviving piece is a direct connection to the founding era of the United States. Whether you're a coin collector or simply someone who loves history, the 1796 draped bust quarter remains one of the most extraordinary American coins ever created. Its elegance, rarity, and timeless story truly make it America's first quarter treasure. There are rare coins, and then there are coins that define the legends of the American West. The 1879 C.C. Morgan dollar is one of those pieces, a coin so scarce, so historically meaningful, and so tied to the frontier era that collectors still chase it over 140 years later. This isn't just another silver dollar. This is one of the most important and valuable Carson City coins ever minted. Today, we're diving deep into the story, the history, the rarity, and the value of the 1879 C.C. Morgan dollar. This coin comes from the iconic Carson City Mint, a place famous for producing some of the most collectible U.S. coins in history. The CC Mint mark carries a special magic, and the 1879 CC stands at the top among them. Its journey, from the mines of Nevada through the minting presses of Carson City to modern auction houses, makes it one of the greatest treasures of American numismatics. To understand why this coin is so valuable, we have to go back to the late 1870s. The Carson City Mint was built to turn silver from the Comstock lode into official U.S. currency. But unlike the major Eastern mints, production in Carson City was always limited. In 1879, things were especially tough. Silver supplies were unstable, political arguments surrounding coinage laws were heating up, and the mint was under constant pressure. Because of these complications, the mintage of the 1879 CC was extremely small. This was one of the lowest production years for Carson City dollars, and even fewer of these coins survived. Many were held in storage, some were melted down during the Pittman Act of 1918, and the ones that circulated were used heavily throughout the West, often wearing down quickly due to constant handling. What makes CC coins so special is their connection to the Old West. These coins moved through saloons, mining camps, stagecoach stations, gambling halls, and dusty frontier towns. They weren't kept in drawers or bank vaults. They lived rough lives, carried by cowboys, miners, merchants, and travelers. The 1879 CC carries all of that history in every mark and detail. When collectors talk about key dates, the 1879 CC is always on the list. Not just because of low mintage, but because surviving high-grade coins are nearly impossible to find. A large portion of the remaining 1879 CC dollars are in heavily circulated condition. Many have scratches, bag marks, and wear from years of use. A well-struck 1879 CC with sharp details is rare. A bright original mint state example is extremely rare. and coins that grade MS63, MS64, or MS65 are considered elite treasures in the Morgan dollar series. In fact, whenever a high-grade example appears at auction, collectors from around the world compete aggressively for it. That's how important this coin is. The value of this coin is where things get even more impressive. It is one of the few Morgan dollars that carries strong value in nearly every grade. Even a coin in G4 or VG condition, worn down from decades of circulation, can sell for $400 to $700. In fine to very fine grades, the price often rises to $800 to $1,200. Collectors who want something sharper look for XF or AU grades, which typically range from $2,000 to $7,000, depending on eye appeal. But the biggest jump comes in mint state. A true MS60 to MS62 coin can easily sell for $10,000 to $15,000. Coins in MS63 or MS64 have sold for $20,000 to $50,000, and the finest known examples, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC, have exceeded $60,000 plus at auction. This isn't hype. This is a verified market demand that has remained strong for decades. Collectors seek the 1879 CC for several reasons. First, the Carson City mystique is unlike any other mint in U.S. history. Its coins instantly feel more historic and more desirable. Second, the 1879 CC is a perfect blend of rarity, low survival rate, and iconic design. And finally, owning a coin like this is a statement. It shows dedication, knowledge, and passion for numismatics. For many collectors, adding an 1879 CC to their collection is a milestone achievement, something they dream about for years. The 1879 CC Morgan dollar isn't just a piece of silver, it's a window into the Old West, a survivor of one of America's most legendary mints, and a symbol of some of the rarest coinage ever made. If you enjoyed exploring the story behind this incredible coin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out more videos on rare and historic U.S. coins. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Professional numismatists understand that certain coins carry a level of historical depth that goes far beyond metal, mintage, or market value. And the 1839 reeded edge half-dollar is one of those remarkable pieces. This coin is a true survivor of the early American South, born during the turbulent beginning years of the New Orleans Mint, a facility that was still learning how to strike federal coinage with precision and consistency. Produced only in the second full year of the mint's operation, the 1839 is more than just silver. It is a living artifact from a time when the U.S. Mint was expanding beyond the East Coast and into the developing regions of the nation. Every 1839 reeded edge half-dollar carries echoes of the Deep South, its struggles, its growth, its rough minting technology, and the hands of countless people who once used this coin in everyday life. The New Orleans Mint itself opened in 1838 as America's first branch mint outside the original Philadelphia facility. It faced immediate challenges: poor equipment, inexperienced workers, and humid conditions that affected metal flow and striking quality. When these early coins were produced, the machinery did not have the strength or precision of later decades, which means that sharp, full-strike examples from 1839 are extremely hard to find. Weak strikes, uneven rims, soft denticles, and flat details are typical of the series. Yet those flaws tell a story of a young mint trying to prove itself, and of a nation expanding westward and southward, relying on regional mints to support trade, commerce, and everyday transactions. The design of the 1839 reeded edge half-dollar is an iconic snapshot of early American artistry. On the obverse, Christian Gobrecht's elegant capped bust Liberty appears with her classic drapery and Phrygian cap, a symbol of freedom and independence. Her portrait is surrounded by stars that represent the young states of the early republic. The reverse showcases a bold heraldic eagle, wings raised and ready, clutching arrows in one talon and an olive branch in the other, unmistakable symbols of America's strength and desire for peace. Around the coin's edge, the reeded border marked a new era for half-dollars, replacing the older lettered edge design and offering a more modern, secure, and visually appealing look. This coin represents a turning point in U.S. silver coinage, a short-lived design type that collectors treasure today because of its rarity and historical importance. In terms of value, the 1839 reeded edge half-dollar demands attention. Low-grade pieces, heavily worn but still identifiable, typically sell in the $90 to $150 range. Mid-grade examples, such as fine or very fine, rise to around $175 to $350 as detail becomes more visible. When you step into the extra fine level, where Liberty's hairlines and the eagle's feathers begin to reappear, the value climbs sharply, reaching $400 to $750. About uncirculated pieces, which retain hints of original mint luster, can command anywhere from $1,200 to over $3,000. But the true stars of the series are mint-state examples, which are extremely rare due to the mint's inconsistent striking capabilities and the heavy circulation of the era. A fully uncirculated 1839 with a bold strike and clean surfaces can easily exceed $10,000, and extraordinary specimens have sold for even more at major auction houses. Collectors love this coin for reasons that go far beyond monetary value. It is an early product of the Southern minting tradition, a relic of the transition from old-style lettered edges to the modern reeded edge system, and a coin that represents one of the most historically significant periods in American numismatics. Every scratch, every weakly struck star, and every uneven rim tells a story of early mint workers, early commerce, and early struggles to expand America's coinage system into new territories. Holding an 1839 reeded edge half-dollar is like holding a small, heavy piece of the nation's early development. The 1839 reeded edge half-dollar is more than just a collectible. It is a time capsule from the earliest days of the New Orleans Mint and a silver reminder of the nation's expansion, ambition, and craftsmanship during the 19th century. If you ever come across one of these coins, especially in strong condition or with original toning, take a second look. You may be holding not just silver, but a rare survivor worth thousands of dollars, along with a chapter of American history in your hand. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoy in-depth journeys into rare and historic U.S. coins, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment which legendary coin you would like to explore next. Your support helps preserve and share the fascinating world of American numismatics with collectors everywhere. Professional collectors know that in every coin series, there's one issue that stands out, not just for its age, but for its history, its artwork, and its undeniable charm. And in the world of classic American coinage, few treasures capture that magic, quite like the 1913 Type 1 Buffalo nickel. The very first year this legendary design was ever minted. If you've ever wondered why this particular nickel is considered a must-have collectible, or how much these coins can be worth today, stay right where you are, because this is one early year gem you don't want to overlook. The story of the 1913 Buffalo nickel begins with a major shift in American coin design. The U.S. Mint wanted its coinage to reflect true American heritage, and sculptor James Earl Fraser delivered exactly that, an iconic, rugged, uniquely American coin featuring a Native American portrait on the obverse and a majestic American bison on the reverse. But what makes the Type 1 version special is that it was minted only for part of 1913, making it a true one-year subtype. On this original design, the buffalo, or more accurately, the American bison, stands proudly on a raised mound. It's bold, striking, and beautiful. However, that raised mound caused major problems. It wore down too quickly in circulation, taking the date and details with it. Because of this flaw, the Mint redesigned the reverse later in the same year, lowering the ground under the buffalo to reduce wear. That revised version became known as Type 2. But Type 1 remained the original, and for collectors, the original is always something special. Today, the 1913 Type 1 Buffalo nickel is one of the most desirable coins in the entire series. Even circulated examples hold strong value due to their relatively short mintage and their place in history. But when you move into higher grades, especially uncirculated or those with sharp strikes and strong luster, the prices can climb into the hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Collectors especially love examples with full details on the bison's horn, tail, and head, as well as crisp features in the Native American portrait. These are the coins that rise fast in value and remain in high demand at auctions. Whether you're building a full buffalo nickel set, focusing on Type 1 varieties, or simply appreciating classic American art, the 1913 Type 1 is a cornerstone coin. It marks the beginning of a beloved series and stands as a tribute to America's frontier heritage. If you ever come across a 1913 Type 1 buffalo nickel, don't pass it up. It's more than a coin. It's a piece of American history, and for collectors, this first-year design is a true gem worth holding onto. If you enjoyed learning about this iconic piece of numismatic history, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more coin collecting breakdowns, and drop a comment telling us which buffalo nickel year you want us to cover next. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! Professional collectors know one thing very well. Never underestimate a silver-era Kennedy half-dollar, especially the 1969D. While most people see it as just another old coin tossed into a drawer or forgotten in a jar, professional numismatists understand that the 1969D Kennedy half-dollar holds real value, real history, and in the right condition, the potential to bring in far more money than anyone expects. And today, we're breaking down exactly why this coin still commands strong demand in the collectibles market. The 1969D Kennedy half-dollar represents a significant turning point in American coinage. After President John F. Kennedy's tragic assassination in 1963, the United States Mint quickly redesigned the half-dollar to honor him, releasing the first version in 1964, a coin made of 90% silver. But widespread hoarding, skyrocketing silver prices, and economic pressures caused silver coins to disappear from circulation. In response, the government reduced the silver content to 40%, giving birth to a special era of Kennedy half-dollars from 1965 to 1970. The 1969D belongs to this final stretch, making it one of the last circulating U.S. coins ever produced with real silver. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 1969D Kennedy half-dollar had a mintage of approximately 129 million coins. That number sounds large, but it's modest by today's standards. More importantly, countless examples were later melted for their silver content, and millions more suffered heavy circulation wear, meaning high-grade survivors are much harder to find today. This rarity in top condition is one of the reasons collectors pursue the coin aggressively. Each 1969D half-dollar contains 0.1479 troy ounces of pure silver, giving the coin its melt value, a value that rises and falls with the silver market. Even in worn condition, the intrinsic silver alone keeps this coin above face value. In circulated condition, most 1969D half-dollars sell for $5 to $12, depending on silver spot prices. But things get far more interesting when the coin is uncirculated. Coins graded MS63 to MS64 are typically valued between $15 and $40, appreciated for their luster and relatively clean appearance. However, once a coin reaches MS65, collectors begin to pay serious premiums. These high-grade coins usually sell for $60 to $120, with pricing affected by how strong the strike is and how few marks the coin has. Stepping up to MS66, the value climbs sharply. These top-tier examples often sell for $150 to $300, especially if they show brilliant luster, sharp detail, and minimal contact marks. A handful of exceptional coins hovering near MS67 have brought even higher prices at auctions because they represent an extraordinary level of preservation for a coin that was mass-produced for circulation. The design itself, created by Gilroy Roberts, obverse, and Frank Gasparo, reverse, adds another layer of appeal. The portrait of President Kennedy and the powerful heraldic eagle make this coin visually iconic, a combination of national symbolism, mid-century design, and the emotional gravity of the era. Collectors also appreciate this coin because it marks the near end of silver coinage in American history. After 1970, circulating half dollars no longer contained any silver at all. That makes the 1969 D not just a collectible coin, but an artifact of a major transition in U.S. economics, politics, and minting. If you're checking old family collections, coin jars, or inherited albums, pay close attention to any 1969 D Kennedy half dollars you come across. Look for strong luster, minimal scratches, and crisp details, especially around Kennedy's hair, the cheek area, and the eagle's wings on the reverse. These small differences can raise the value dramatically, turning a $10 coin into a $200 coin simply because of condition. If you ever come across a 1969 D Kennedy half dollar, take a closer look. It might be worth far more than you think. What seems like an ordinary coin could actually be a valuable piece of American history. If you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button, share your rare coin finds in the comments, and make sure to subscribe for more in-depth videos exploring coins, treasures, and hidden value that might be sitting right in your home. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting. Professional collectors instantly recognize the 1815 capped bust half dollar as one of the most fascinating and valuable early American half dollars ever made. Not just because it's rare, but because it represents a one-year type that almost never appears in high-grade condition. While most people have never even seen one outside a museum or auction, this single-year issue can easily bring thousands of dollars. And today, we're breaking down exactly why this coin is so special. The 1815 capped bust half dollar is more than just an old coin. It is a direct product of war, economic challenge, and early minting history in the United States. During the War of 1812, the U.S. Mint struggled with shortages of silver, imported technology, and even basic supplies. Because of these disruptions, no half dollars were struck in 1813 or 1814, and only a very limited number were produced in 1815 once operations resumed. That is what makes the 1815 issue so unique. It is the only half dollar dated 1815, giving it the status of a one-year type coin, a feature that immediately elevates collector demand. Designed by engraver John Reich, the capped bust half dollar features Lady Liberty wearing a Phrygian cap with curls flowing from beneath, surrounded by 13 stars and the date below. The reverse showcases a bold heraldic eagle with a shield on its chest, arrows and an olive branch in its talons, and the inscription, United States of America. These early half dollars are admired for their thick rims, bold details, and classic early American style that collectors love. But what truly drives the value of the 1815 capped bust half dollar is scarcity. Only about 47,000 coins were minted.